part of me wonders if he's jealous of women. Like,
Yes.
even though he doesn't have gender dysphoria, or to my knowledge, have gender dysphoria,
Yes.
actual
Yes.
legitimate gender dysphoria,
Yes.
I still think that he is jealous of women.
Hey everyone, I caught myself another one, and this is going to be awesome like they always are. But you always know before I move forward, thanks for liking, subscribing, becoming a member, putting this to people who might need to see it. All of these stories are so fantastic, and I feel very lucky to get these people. And like I always say, I cannot do it without you. So thank you all for helping Megan come on the channel. And so with that, I'm going to bring Megan on. And Megan, can you introduce yourself? And thank you so much for joining us today. I appreciate you.
Thank you. It's a huge pleasure being on with you. My name is Megan. I am 35 years old now. I always lose track.
Don't we all?
I So I currently live in New York, but that's not really where I'm from.
Okay.
So,
Great.
big
Okay.
story. Can't wait.
Yeah. So let's just get right into it. So you reached out to
Yeah.
me because you had a very interesting story, and it seems very interesting to me. So why don't you just
Yes.
go ahead and tell us why you reached out to me?
Well, I reached out to you because before all of this, like, big transgender movement started,
Yeah.
I was with someone that claimed to be trans.
Oh, how long ago was that?
Um, wow,
Like 10
11
years
years
ago?
ago?
11 years ago. Okay, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because the big trans movement started about that time. Well, the real big push
Mm-hmm.
to what we see today.
Mm-hmm.
So 11 years ago, your partner, was that a male or a female?
Male. He believed himself to be male to female.
Male to female. Okay, right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Was he your husband or just like a boyfriend or something like that?
He was my husband.
Oh, wow. Okay. How long were you guys married for?
5 years.
5 years. And
Mm-hmm.
prior to that, did you have any inkling that something was different about him?
Um, well, he introduced me to all of this. Like, he let me know about this a few months into us dating.
Okay. That he felt like a woman?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you seem, obviously, you got married to him. You were okay with it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Um,
Hmm.
I've always thought myself like kind of open minded. I'm very comfortable around different groups of people. So, I mean, I
Great.
always try to treat everybody with respect. So,
Yeah, and obviously, if you liked him and he seemed like
oh
that's
yeah.
just part of who he was, so yeah,
Mhm.
I totally get it. I totally get it. So you get married to him. So prior to getting married, did he? And if any of my questions feel inappropriate, just you don't have to answer them. Okay, I want you to be
Yeah.
extremely comfortable here. So did you feel? Did he? Was he dressing like a woman
No. Well, at first, no.
at first?
That didn't
So
come in until a couple years into our marriage.
okay, that's very interesting to me. So he owned up to you that he felt like a woman, and you were cool with
Hmm.
that, and you're whatever, and you continue your relationship with him as a man.
Yep.
And so 2 years into the relationship, what happens?
Um, I started like helping him pick. We would shop online, and I would help him pick out like bras and tucking underwear
Mhm. Great.
and um, even some prosthetic breasts that he would wear.
Okay.
And we did that for a while. There was um, like in the bedroom, it kind of actually started to get a bit weird from me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I think that was kind of where I'm not exactly sure how to put this.
That's okay. I want you to be comfortable. Let's pretend like it's just
Hmm.
me and you talking, and there's nobody
No.
watching. Okay. And also,
Oh
there's
no.
no judgment. No judgment. I get what I get it. I get it.
And well, I kind of want to skip back like quite a few
Okay.
years before this.
Great.
So when I was growing up, I
Okay.
always had um, body dysmorphia. I didn't
Okay.
know that that's what it was, but I was never happy with my body.
Okay.
I hated it. I like detested myself,
Hmm.
which that actually plays a huge role in what happened during the marriage.
Okay.
Couple into years
Right.
into the marriage, he kind of used that, and he was slowly trying to convince me that, and to an extent, it actually worked,
Okay.
that I was a guy.
Okay. Interesting. So you were so you were being honest as you do with partners and talking
Hmm.
about, very personal things. And one of
Yeah,
those things was when you were a kid, you probably had body dysmorphia, possibly even gender dysphoria, right? How old were you when you started feeling like that?
14,
Okay.
around 14.
Okay.
I was put ahead in school up
Mhm.
until that point, so I wasn't developing like other girls my age were.
Oh,
So I thought that like there was something wrong with me.
I see. Right.
I didn't actually get into puberty until I was 14. All the rest of the kids were 15, and I was
Right.
greatly picked on because of that.
Oh, bullying crap. I got bullied too. So I see what you're
Mhm.
saying. So the kids were ahead of you in puberty wise. So
Mhm.
they were already probably through puberty. Is that what you're saying?
Mhm.
And then
Yeah.
you got put ahead in that class. So you were physically behind. And of course you're going to get
Yes.
teased because you're not normal and the rest of them. So that
I
added to that
Yeah,
anxiety.
it added to it. I
Hmm.
always thought that I was more boyish than
Hmm.
other girls. Like, I liked to
Hmm.
play Barbies, but I preferred my Hot Wheels, my Crisscross Crash set. I loved climbing trees. I loved
Hmm.
wrestling. Like
Hmm.
I loved doing the boy stuff and
Okay.
not as much the girl stuff.
Right. Right.
And
Which is totally
so
normal. Actually, is normal, by the way.
yeah, I've actually started to figure that out.
Yes, but I get it. I get that. So the kids are teasing you, probably calling. Are they saying things like "you're a boy" and things like that, or
No,
stuff like that
actually, I
to
kind
you?
of got that from my
Oh,
family.
oh, wow, interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay. So you're dealing with that as a young kid, and as
Hmm.
you're growing up, though, are you still having those feel? Are you still having feelings like that? Like, I mean, are you just more like interested in boyish things?
Trying, well, I've always been more interested in the boy stuff, but I've
Yeah.
been able to learn how to be more feminine
Hmm.
since I've been
Sure.
out here in New York.
Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay.
It's it's been a long time. It's been very difficult, um,
Yeah.
especially since like my mom even admitted to me at one point that I was supposed to be a boy, is what I was told.
Oh, interesting. So she's saying like she thought before you were born that you
Hmm.
were going to be like maybe the doctor said. Did she have an
Yeah.
ultrasound or something? How did she know that?
Um, I'm not sure if she had an ultrasound,
Hmm.
but apparently I was showing signs of being a boy. Like I was lower and
Hmm. Hmm.
and whatnot.
Interesting.
But
Isn't that interesting? Like
Mhm.
what does that even mean? But I don't know. Parents say things sometimes and it sticks with us, right? Parents say things
Mhm.
that they probably shouldn't be saying, but I don't think that
Yeah.
they realize that what they're saying can stick with a child. And I don't know if your mom meant it in a bad way. It just was there.
No, I
Yeah.
don't either, but it's one thing that honestly really didn't help, especially with everything else that was going on. And
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you made it to 35. Yeah. So did you struggle a lot? Did you
oh
struggle,
yeah,
let's say, in high school, then out of high school and
yes,
college, like
yes.
pretty much all that? Did you feel like a
So,
loner or alienated or
oh,
something to
oh
that?
yeah,
Yeah.
oh, most definitely. In spite of me preferring to do like all the boy stuff and being in sports and stuff, I kind of also was trying to overcompensate in other
Mm,
parts of my life, the more intimate parts of my life,
yeah.
and it
Mm,
gave me a bad reputation back home.
I see. Okay. So, can I ask sexually, maybe? Were you acting out
hmm
sexually? Hmm. Like being promiscuous and doing things like
Very, yes.
just more because you maybe wanted to fit in or like
Um,
that.
no, not really
Mm.
that I wanted to fit in. Was, I think I was more trying to find a partner that I could be more dominant with.
Okay, got it. That makes sense. All of this makes sense to me. I mean, everybody. I don't. I think everyone struggles with stuff. I really do. I don't think anyone. I could probably have a story with anybody, and they're going to tell you that things were struggling, even if they were the popular
Hmm.
kid, right? They still
Oh
struggle.
yeah.
For sure. Yeah, I think
Mm.
so. And I don't want to say like it's no like this is kind of normal on some sense, the way you're acting
Mhm.
out or trying to find things, maybe to overcompensate. I don't really know. I'm not a therapist, but I sound like one right now.
No, I actually during high school and kind of on my own time, I have off and on studied
Oh,
psychology and
yeah.
human nature
Yeah.
some.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. So there you are acting out, doing this thing. College? Did you go to college?
No.
Oh, you didn't? Okay, neither did I. I didn't graduate high school. I didn't.
So, some of the smartest people I know never went to college.
Same with me. I think college is great for some people, but I don't think it's for
Oh yeah.
everyone. I just don't.
No.
Nope, not even.
Nope.
It's far from it. Okay, so let's get yeah. Okay, keep going.
So around the 3 year mark of our marriage, um, started buying him stuff. He started buying me stuff like
Mm,
strap-ons and
mm,
whatnot,
mm,
and we would like reverse roles in
mm.
bed, and it felt good. It kind of felt right, and
Yeah.
um, I started buying stuff for him. He started buying stuff for me. Um,
But wait, where did you
I
meet
would
him at?
even
Where did you
I
meet him?
met him through my sister. So my sister's in the
Okay.
military. I was
Okay.
actually trying to get a divorce from my first husband when I met
Okay.
him.
I see. Okay. So you meet him through your sister in the military. Okay, and you guys hit
Mhm.
it off pretty much right away?
Oh yeah,
Great.
yeah.
Excellent.
It was
Great.
it was fantastic. We had a great time. That the first day, the first uh, up until around the fourth, fifth year, it
Well,
was
it's
going
funny.
really, really well.
Well, it's funny how things happen because you know what?
Oh yeah,
Also, I've been married. I've been married twice, by the way, and I mean two divorces. But
same.
sometimes that just happens. Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know why people get so weird about divorce. Divorce is actually a good thing. It's a positive, great thing.
it,
Because
it
why would you?
it
Right?
can be. It can be.
I mean, they can't be
And so,
shitty like going through the
yeah,
whole thing, but the actual divorce is important.
yes. It
Don't you agree?
um yes and no. I feel
Okay.
like if a couple are in a marriage and it isn't just not going well, but it's toxic, like
Right.
bad toxic.
Yes.
Um, in those cases, yes, I do
Yes.
agree, but divorce just because you don't like somebody or because you don't want to work it out, I think is wrong.
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess what I mean to say is, if you tried every sort
Hmm.
of avenue to make it work, yeah, you can't just like say, people don't get along sometimes. I don't care how long you've been married, but I mean
Oh
exactly
yeah.
that. I mean, if it's just not working
Hmm.
out, but you keep trying to put a band-aid over it, and it's just that
Hmm.
you're wasting both of your time. And
Oh
like
yeah.
that's what I mean exactly. Yeah, if you don't try to work it out, that's weird. But if you do try to work it out and it just doesn't work out,
Hmm.
divorce is just not a bad thing. It just isn't. That's just the way I feel about it. But so now, so you meet through your sister, then you guys hit it
Yes.
off, and then you get married. Right. Okay. Everything's
Yeah.
good for the first
Um,
couple years.
yes. Within the first year, I he he and I had two kids.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
So
great.
not only are we going down this path, but we're also taking our kids. Granted, they were like 1 and 2,
Okay.
1 and 2
Okay.
years old by the time we actually start going into this.
Yeah.
Um, so we were looking up bottom surgery for both of us. We were looking at a mastectomy.
What?
Hmm.
What? Wait, back up because I'm missing something here. Okay,
It
this is
jumped
wow.
really fast.
That I want to know. I want to know. Here you are. I don't know using the word normal, but you know what I mean. You're a married couple. You're just
Yeah.
he's totally into wanting to be a woman, but you guys are just kind of dealing with it. You have kids. You
Yeah.
look like the normal family.
Hmm.
Where does that go to the next level of this? So then you also
It
started having this sexual space with each other, right? Where I think you said things started to progress a little more, maybe sexually fetishy.
yes.
Yeah.
Um, that was around 2 to 3 years into the marriage
Okay.
that that happened.
Whose idea
His.
was right? That's what I wanted to know. Okay. So he wanted to
It,
start
it was yes.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. Um. So we got him a special like bottom part that he would wear
Yeah.
when I wore the strap on. And I'm
Yeah.
not sure if I can even say any of this.
You
but
can listen. That's why I edit these so that I can, because I want
yeah.
you to free flow. I don't want you to feel, well, unless you're embarrassed to say it, but don't be.
Oh no.
That's why. Okay, great, awesome. Just
I
say all of it. You can say vagina, whatever you need. I can
okay.
always blank it out with all of it. So just
Okay.
feel more free because it will come off better in the edit that way as well. Great,
Okay, awesome. So
great.
it was a pair of bottoms that had like they were tucking bottoms, but it
Yeah.
had a false vagina.
Yes, I know exactly.
Um,
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly what it was called, but he would wear that. I would wear my strap on, and then from there we took it kind of outside of the bedroom when
Hmm.
we got comfortable with that. And
Hmm.
he got me a packer,
Hmm.
and I would wear that out and about. Though it was a little uncomfortable because it wouldn't stay in place.
Yeah. Totally.
so,
Totally.
um, so I this was like within a couple of months that we were doing this. And then after he got me the Packers, when we started looking at the surgeries,
What?
yes,
For
yes, we
both
would
of you.
actually YouTube. Yes, we would use YouTube and watch the procedures, and
Wow.
Mhm.
Wow. This is fascinating me. Were you thinking, what were you thinking when this was happening? Were you just sort of going along with it or?
I was a fully willing participant
Okay. Okay.
because as we were talking and progressing through these very fast steps, oh my gosh, I cannot believe how fast this all
Right.
went down.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the more him and I would talk about it, I'm like, yeah, I I don't feel comfortable sitting down to pee. I think I'd be more comfortable standing.
Hmm.
Um, like I feel better when I have short hair.
Hmm.
I was even wrapping, using an ace bandage and wrapping.
Hmm.
Um, and we would just, it was almost like a continuous conversation. And the more he's like, hey, what about this part of your life? Hey, what about this part of your life? I'm like, yeah, yeah, that totally makes sense. That's got to be the answer.
Hmm.
And after we had been talking about it, progressing through these steps on our own, and looking at the surgeries and seeing how much they cost, we decided to go see a therapist.
Mm. Great.
Um, I don't know if he continued the therapist. This was around the 4 year mark at this point.
Hmm.
And between the 4 and the 5 year mark is when our marriage really broke.
Okay. What happened?
Um, so started seeing the therapist, and then he got extremely aggressive. I don't know why.
Hmm.
It may have been there the entire time, but I just didn't see it. I'm not sure. But he started getting very aggressive. And while all this was going on, we were living with his mom. His mom started to become very aggressive as well, which did not help our relationship. Yeah,
Interesting.
mother in laws.
Oh yeah. Well, of course she's gonna side with her son. She's
Mm-hmm.
not gonna. Yeah, she's gonna think you're the bad person, for
Mm-hmm.
sure.
Well, he was an only child.
Well, there you go. No dissing any. Our
Yeah.
kid is the only child, but yeah, I get it. Wow.
Yeah. So, with all of that happening, it, within 1 year, it just got to a point that I had to take our kids and
Mhm.
just run.
Wow. I was going to ask you about the kids. So, of course, you, him, and the kids are all living at grandma's house,
Hmm.
right? Are the kids, they must be feeling, are you two arguing a lot?
Yes.
The kids are seeing that,
Hmm.
and you're noticing that as the mom, probably, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, my kids were also still very, very young.
Yeah.
Um, at that point, I had one daughter from my former marriage, and then
Mhm.
the two with him.
Mhm.
And my oldest daughter started getting extremely aggressive.
Right. Totally. Because the energy is
Hmm.
aggressive. So she's picking up on it. How old, can I ask you how old she was?
Oh gosh, she was 4, I believe.
Mm. These are all little kids, 4, 1,
Oh
and
yeah.
2. Yeah, babies.
Hmm.
Yeah. What was his aggressiveness? Can you give me some examples of that?
Um, just like, well, there was a lot of yelling and screaming,
Verbal. Verbal.
very
Also,
verbal. There
yeah.
was um
Mm.
also before we got to this point, we had he was military. We had lived before we moved in with grandma
Yeah.
on a post, and
Hmm.
while there, I already knew that he was physically aggressive.
Yeah.
Um, he at one point did throw a box at me that had a ton of papers in it, like full of papers.
Wow.
But we ended up getting back together. We didn't divorce or anything, but
Hmm. Hmm.
um that's when we like right after that is when we moved in with his mom, and then all of the research and everything started to go on until we started going to the therapist. And then uh, after the first couple sessions with the therapist, which I know that other people on your channel have said how fast they go through this stuff, like the therapist, the getting onto the meds and everything. It is true. It is absolutely true. By the second time we were there, she was already starting to talk about putting him on estrogen.
What?
Yes.
2 sessions? So, were you going to see this therapist for his sort of gender identity stuff? That's why you're, and
Mm-hmm.
yours too?
Yeah. Yes.
So, so it was more, was it, so was it also about your gender identity, but also about your marriage?
Um,
The therapy?
no, so I personally he didn't have any other therapist. That therapist that he was seeing was for gender.
Okay.
So,
But were you guys going together to see the same
yes,
gender therapist?
yes.
Oh,
But
that's
I
interesting.
also had a personal therapist as well.
Right. But I find it fascinating that you both, I've never heard of that before, where a couple would go in to see a gender therapist together to discuss their own gender identity. And that has to, excuse me, that has to be rare.
I'm not sure. It was in
Wow.
California. We were I know,
That's
right?
where I live. It's so insane here. It makes total sense
it
now.
was it was in Escondido, California.
Yep. San Diego. Yep.
Yeah.
Makes total sense.
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
my God.
I visited San Diego on a weekly basis.
Oh my God. Wow. I'm fascinated that a therapist would actually
Hmm.
take on a couple who are dealing with their own gender identity. I personally don't really think that's healthy. I think you guys probably needed to be searching. But that being said, I'm getting ahead of the game here. So there you are. I mean, I'm just like shocked, really. So after 2 sessions, she
Hmm.
says, "What about you, though? Was she also saying you should get on hormones?"
I wasn't 100% bought into it. Like I was so close to being convinced. Like
Hmm.
um, uh, I was saying yes to everything,
Sure.
except there was something in my gut that was like, no, don't do this.
Yeah.
Just don't.
Sure. Wow. Wow.
Plus, I also had my other therapist that I was able to talk to too. So,
Yeah, I know, which is a good thing, I think, on some level,
hmm,
right?
yeah,
2 sessions is ridiculous. You cannot
yes,
diagnose somebody. You cannot. It
no,
takes a while to figure. And also, I'm not a therapist, but I've been doing this for a long time, and I see a
yeah,
lot the fetish with him. I see fetishists
hmm,
more than I
oh yeah.
see
He
trans.
he's definitely a fetishist.
Yeah, like more cross dresser. It sounds like to me. But so now she wants to put him on estrogen. So what happens?
Um, as far as he goes, I don't know. The
So
last thing that him and I ever spoke about was I was leaving him,
oh wow,
and he actually said, "I will stop the transition
if you don't
if you
go.
stay."
Yeah. Wow.
And I said, no. I said, you
What
can
was
do
the
what you want to do, but I cannot stay in this house anymore.
because of the aggressiveness? Is that really what
Hmm.
broke it for
Yeah,
you?
yeah.
Was it scared? Were
It
you
wasn't even
scared?
the trans part. It
Right.
was it was the aggression. It it was just feeling like I was alone.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Sad. It really is. Because it's not, you have this great thing happening, and then all of a sudden, just do you think that delving into the more fetish stuff is what took the marriage to a downward spiral?
I honestly, I don't know.
Hmm, interesting. Because I'm looking at what you're saying. It kind of feels like once it started getting into the more sexual and then the role, basically reversing roles, that's what you did.
Yeah,
And then that's when things started getting, and you were doing this while living at grandma's house.
yeah.
How? Grandma didn't notice this was happening, or
No,
you
shockingly, no.
kept?
So grandma's house was just a trailer. Him and I didn't actually have a room, which makes it even more like, wow.
What? I know. That's even so. It's wow. How you navigated that is what she must have known. She just wasn't going to say anything.
She was a full blown alcoholic. So I do not think that she
Wow.
knew.
No, she was drunk all the time.
Hmm.
Did she turn mean when she drank?
No, she didn't.
That's good.
She insisted on driving drunk constantly. She she just let herself like she she was the kind of drunk that just didn't care.
Oh, it's so sad, man. Oh,
Like
horrible.
she would not take care of herself.
Yeah.
It was so nasty at that place.
Wow. You mean like
And
physically dirty?
um partially I say partially um because his mom was an alcoholic and she was so much of an alcoholic. She would literally, when she got home, if she had to pee, she would just pee anywhere. Like she was that bad.
Yeah, that's insane alcoholism. Wow.
And it was
Wow.
nasty. And I had to walk on that floor and it made my stomach so nauseous every single day.
Oh my god.
And
How long
a large, I did a large portion of all of the cleaning in the house.
on top of taking care of the kids?
Mm-hmm.
Where was your husband? Did he have to like go to work every day?
For 1 year, he was on unemployment because he had gotten out of the military. And then
Oh,
he found a job as a long haul truck driver, so he
oh
didn't
my
have to
god.
be home.
Wow. That's a whole other story. I've
Hmm.
just found this whole. There's a great book on long haul drivers. There's some stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa. Whoa. I mean, seriously. I mean, we won't get into
Hmm.
that, but you know what I'm talking
Oh,
about.
oh, oh, yeah. Oh, I heard several stories from him.
I mean, I'm getting the chills, like, because if no one knows about long haul drivers, I'll remember the name of the book and I'll put it on this because it's fascinating. Because of course they're alone
Hmm.
by themselves, and a lot of
Yeah.
them, not to say anything about your husband, but a lot of them are fetishists or dealing with sexual
Hmm.
stuff, and the truck stops and all of it is insane. Because they're in the truck by
Oh,
themselves
yeah.
for a long
Oh, yeah.
alcoholism, drug
Yep.
addiction.
Yep.
Wow, that really makes sense that he would get a job like that. So as he's doing right, so he doesn't have to be at home. So you're stuck at home with
Hmm.
grandma and the kids.
Yep.
No wonder. Wow, that is just craziness.
And everything, because of all of that, it just crumbled. So, one reason why I don't know about what happened is because he got that job. So he was out of the house. I don't
Hmm.
know if he continued therapy or not.
Right. Right. Right.
I,
Doubt it. So did you just decide that you couldn't take it anymore?
yeah.
So what
Yeah,
happened with
it
the?
was.
You guys are deep into this fetish. You guys are
Mhm,
different. Just doing role play. You're the male. He's
mhm.
the female. What? And then did it just stop? And then you're looking into getting surgeries, and then you go to therapy, and then is therapy sort of the breaking point for you?
No, no, it wasn't.
What was?
I was going to continue, but
Okay.
I think the whole reason why I stopped was because I got away from him. Because everything that I knew about transgenders, I
Yeah.
essentially learned from him,
Okay.
which really is not a healthy healthy place to learn that.
Right. Totally.
So essentially, I thought if that is what transgender is, I want nothing to do with it. That's not
Mm.
me.
Right. Right. And so you decided what?
After a fight with his mom, I took the kids, went over to a friend's place, spent the night, and then got a bus ticket and came out here 10 years ago.
To New York.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's been 10 years. Did he
Yeah.
come looking for you?
Nope. Well,
Wow.
I kind of misled him. They were
Okay.
trying to meet me at, well, at least his mom was trying
Mhm.
to meet me at the local Escondido bus station, bus depot.
Okay.
I went down to the
Yeah.
San Diego bus depot and I left his car
Really?
there.
Oh,
I left his car there at a prepaid spot, and I only paid for a couple of hours.
smart. So they thought you were leaving from there
They thought that I was leaving from Escondido.
when you left from San Diego. Smart.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually really smart. What would have happened, do you think, if they would have intercepted you?
They would have forced me to stay.
Yeah. That's so scary. That's a
It,
scary
it
story
was. It was. It was extremely scary.
because of his temper and all. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so I think I've been listening a lot to women's stories like yours. It's happening more and more, by the way. Like,
Mm-hmm.
but you sort of played with it. Most of the women who are having the story, I think they're calling them trans widows, and so a lot of these guys actually go
Mm-hmm.
forward with the transition, right? And they, after 20 years of marriage, all of a sudden they're trans women, right? Or they have
Yeah.
the fetish, like you guys had the fetish. And I come
Mm-hmm.
from a space of sexual freedom, and I believe in all that. If you're a
Mm-hmm.
two consenting adults and you want to do whatever you need to do between, that's, I have no issues with that, and nobody should, actually. It's none of their business. But that being said, some people take it to the next level. And I think when you started looking
Yes.
at surgeries, and that, it now wasn't this, it was a fetish, but you were trying to sort of play into this fetish
Mm-hmm.
and take it to another level. And I don't particularly think, in my own opinion, that he's actually transgender. I think he's a fetishist crossdresser.
I honestly, I would 100% agree with you. I, looking
Yeah.
back on it,
Yeah.
no, he's definitely not trans, especially if he's able to say, if you stay, I will stop. Like,
That's right. That's right.
transgenders do not have
Yeah.
that choice.
That's right. Thank you. That's right. It's a great point. And so with that, I see this happening a lot more today because we've opened this
Mm-hmm.
door, and I call it Pandora's box. We've opened this
Mm-hmm.
door to let these men who are fetishists and cross dressers and transvestites and AGP and all of these more fetishy kinds of things to now consider themselves trans, because now the trans is an umbrella term for anything, including eunuchs, to be trans, which is so insane. I am not that. So that being said, and not to say that I'm better, right? But
Yeah.
I literally have gender dysphoria. I want to look like a dude.
No.
I want to walk like a dude. I want to be a dude.
Yes. Yes. Everything that I thought that I wanted, but I didn't actually want. Which I
think
do
you were being
applaud
sort
you.
of. Oh, thank you. I mean, I'm not making judgments on you. I hope you know that. I'm just
Yeah.
looking at it from an outside view, and it just feels like he was also manipulating you
Yes.
to go along
Yep.
with his fetish. Is that how you feel?
Mm-hmm.
It just sounds so
100%.
like it sounds a lot like what these also trans widows are saying. Like they would tell their wives, "Oh, I just want to wear your panties," and the wife would be like, "Okay, because it's kind of cool. Like, let's just play little fun games in bed." But then that starts to escalate to other things, and some of those stories are like, next thing you know, he's emulating me. He's like been watching me all these years of how to act like a woman and I'm like, what? And so I totally see a very much of the same. And his anger? His anger also has me. What's he so
Yeah.
angry about?
I,
Right?
to this day, I have no clue. I
It's
think he may. Part of me wonders if he's jealous of women. Like,
Yes.
even though he doesn't have gender dysphoria, or to my knowledge, have gender dysphoria,
Yes.
actual
Yes.
legitimate gender dysphoria,
Yes.
I still think that he is jealous of women.
I agree. I totally agree. That's so a real trans women that I know, and I'm going to use the word real because I don't care. There's so much nonsense happening in this trans world that's
Oh, yeah.
hurting actual trans people.
It is.
It is, because if we were just okay with him being a fetishist, then also
Yeah.
then it would be a whole different game. But all of a sudden, so I think they get angry, and I think they get angry because they're not women and
Yeah.
they want to be women so bad. But real trans women aren't angry at women. And they're
No.
not like, I'm not angry at men because I want to be a man. There's no anger in
Blair
it.
White. Bring in Blair White
Right.
into it.
Yes.
She is one of the best, most awesome trans femmes ever
That's
that I
right.
have ever seen.
Yes.
And oh my god, she pulls it off so well. Can I say she is?
She does. She's amazing.
She is so hot.
Yeah.
But I mean, she doesn't hate women. She stands with women. She 100% stands
That's
with
right.
women. And I love that about her.
Yeah. That's
Which
the difference.
shows the drastic difference between people like my ex-husband
Yes.
and you guys.
That's right. Thank you for saying that. It saddens me because we need to approach this and we need to have this conversation. And I want to thank you, Megan, for coming on the show and really talking about this, because it's going to help some other women who are struggling. Because it seems like more and more women are struggling with this. Or their
Yes.
husbands have been married to them for 20 years, raised families, and all of a sudden they're like, I'm a woman. And they're like, what? What are you talking about? Like,
Yeah.
it's something weird is happening here. And families are being destroyed, and even the
They
men are
are.
suffering. Yeah, and men are also suffering because they're not being able to just express themselves whenever they need to, and then go back.
Yeah.
I was in the fetish world. I had an actual dungeon, and I was married to an actual dominatrix who had
Ooh.
cross-dressing dudes who were truck drivers who would come and see her to dress up like a sissy, whatever, get a spanking, do all that, and then put their man clothes on and go back to try. And then they got it all out of them. It's literally like therapy, right? Yeah. But we're not doing that now.
No, we're not. And it's very, very sad to see these men that don't actually understand themselves.
That's right. Thank you.
And
we need to have compassion for these guys.
Yes. They need more not just compassion, but they need more outreach. They need to know
Yes.
who they can turn to, because being around men as much as I have,
Hmm.
it just, they don't have enough. They really, really don't.
Totally agree with you. Totally agree
Plus,
with you.
society also puts this idea on them where
Hmm.
they are not allowed to express themselves.
That's right. That's right.
They are not allowed to express their feelings. How dare you?
Nope.
You're a beta man. No, it's
Totally
ridiculous.
sick.
And
Oh,
that
yeah.
has partially caused what is going on.
I agree. You're you're hitting it all, and you lived it. So you're a great
Oh, yeah.
person to have this conversation
You,
with. Yeah,
you don't
right.
even
He's a
know
mil.
how many people, like, I get on. Okay, so I'm in this one group, well, a couple of different
Uh-huh.
groups on Facebook,
Okay. Okay.
and I'm on there, and when the topic of transgenders comes up,
Hmm.
I always like chirp in. Like, I'm
Great.
always in the comments.
Great.
And I have been called a liar, a bigot, like all I've even been called racist for who knows what
Oh my
reason, a
God.
transphobe. And it's like, I'm not. And
No, you're not.
I know that because I've lived it.
Also, you're sitting here with me. You're not.
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
mean,
Oh my
what
gosh.
are they
I
talking
want
about?
every time I see one of your videos pop up, every time I see one of Blair's videos pop up, that's the first thing I'm wanting to watch. Like, you
Oh,
guys, I
it's
I
so
could go on.
dumb.
I could go hours just talking about you guys. You guys are so
But
awesome.
because they're using that, they're using those tropes. You're a transphobe. You're big
Oh
to derail you and gaslight you,
yeah.
and
Hmm.
to make you not say the things you're saying. But they don't realize the
Oh, that won't
damage
shut
they're
me up.
actually doing. Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you. I appreciate that. Don't ever shut up. Don't ever shut up. No,
yeah,
no.
they cause so much damage because
That's
those
right.
words actually mean something.
So what I'm saying is the anger always has me like, what's happening here? Why is he so angry? Right?
Yeah, they're not able to accept what they really feel. And I
Yes.
also think that it goes more also into, like, they want the attention.
Yeah. Makes sense, right? They want to be the
I mean,
lady or the woman.
yeah, well, they just want attention, period. Because in society
Mm,
now, if you
yeah.
don't have attention, then you're a nobody, and they don't want to be a nobody.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, narcissism.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Our society, like, there's tons of narcissists now. People are being
Sick.
grown up and raised as narcissists, and it's disgusting.
Yes. Well,
I
it's
could
a
do a whole
downfall
nother
of our
hour of
society.
narcissists. Oh yeah.
Yes,
Oh yeah.
it's the downfall. It's everyone is so me me
Hmm.
me, and like you prove it by the group you're in, and everyone's attacking you because you have your opinion. Since
Yep.
when aren't you not allowed to have a different opinion? And if you don't, that is pure narcissism right there.
Yep. Yes, it
It's
is.
really sad.
It
It's so
is.
sad. But a lot of women are suffering. You escaped on some level in 10 years. You seem is everything
Hmm.
going good for you now? Is your life good?
Um. Well, for it's had its ups and downs since I've been out here. Um.
Mm, mm,
I went from him to um. I thought that I was coming out to New York. My husband said, ex-husband. I keep calling him my husband. Ex-husband
mm.
said that he would
Said,
never step foot
yeah.
in New York. I knew one person here in New York, and I ended up putting him in jail.
Mhm. Was he also a partner, like a boyfriend or something?
Not exactly.
Mm,
Um, I was in a
that's a
very,
shame.
very, very bad headspace. The one person was
Of
my
course.
uncle, and
Mm,
I went from one fire to another.
Yeah.
and I brought my
I'm
kids
sorry.
along.
I'm
And that's
sorry.
my largest regret.
Don't beat yourself up, friend. Just don't do it because you didn't have a
Oh,
choice.
I'm completely thrilled. I am so thrilled that I put him in jail.
Okay, right on.
And if I ever see him, I will probably end up in jail.
Right on, lady. Good for you. Now you're a strong-willed person. You know that. I really do
Oh
think
yeah.
it takes a lot of guts to. It takes a lot of guts for someone to leave a toxic relationship, especially with children. So I'm going to
Hmm.
give you a lot of kudos for that, and I'm going to give you a lot of love for that. You care a lot about your children, and you
I do.
really, yeah, clearly, you just we're not going to stand for it anymore. And I
Yeah.
think any mother or parent out there would see what you're doing as a very loving, caring, and it wasn't your fault that however you got to that and it turned into another bad situation. That just it sucks, but life sometimes is that way. It's very much like this. Sometimes people just think life is like this. You're gonna
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah,
So there's going to be high peaks, and there's going to be
that's right.
low lows, and sometimes if you think you're at the
That's
lowest,
right.
there's even further that you can drop. I experienced that firsthand,
Totally.
and as much as it sucks,
Yeah.
it can only go up.
Right on. Excellent attitude, friend. I think when you fall and get up, it makes you stronger. It
Oh
really
yeah.
does. That's why I always believe in you have to make mistakes. And I really think
Mm-hmm.
today we're teaching a young generation that they're victims and like, nobody could mispronounce my pronoun. And what? We're teaching kids such insane sensitivity that if
Yes.
they do actually fall, they're not even going to know how to get up. They're not even
Yep.
gonna. But all those bad things that have happened to you, I think, have built you up and made you much
Mm-hmm.
stronger of a human being. On how are your kids doing?
Um, they had been taken from me, which
Okay,
is the whole reason why
yeah.
if I ever see my uncle, I'm getting them.
Wow, no kidding. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
But since then, I have had three more children. They
Oh,
are very
fantastic.
beautiful. They are so brilliant.
Oh, great,
My oldest three are also very brilliant. Like,
great.
they all have to get their intelligence from me because, I mean,
Right on,
they all
right
have
on,
it. So,
right on. So you don't have any you're not allowed to have any contact with the other
no
children.
contact.
No contact.
Luckily, now my oldest is 16.
Wow.
She will be 18 in a couple more years.
Right.
And at that point, it'll be up to her if she wants to seek
That's
me out.
right. That's right. That's exactly right. So, again, life is insane. It's actually
Oh yeah.
insane.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God, it's so
It's
insane.
it's so crazy.
But you have no contact either with the other
No.
guy. None. Zero. He's never tried
No.
to contact you, never tried to do. Okay. That says a
Nope.
lot. Oh, yeah, that says a lot. He's a long haul truck driver, which is totally insane. I mean,
And
not
to
to
my
diss. I have
knowledge,
friends. Yeah, yeah,
he's no longer a truck driver.
doing that. Yeah. Wow, what a story that is! You escaped something that could have actually put you in a physically horrible space on not just
Yeah.
the abuse, but also like surgery. Like the fact that you guys were even
Mhm.
looking at it just shows me the manipulation some of these people doing with their wives and the stories I keep hearing of they're called
Yeah.
trans widows. It's just shocking to me, and I think we need to address this in a way that says, why are we not
Yeah.
letting men wear women's underwear? If a man wants to wear women's underwear, who cares? But it's the
We
shame
are
around
at
it that builds up.
which actually this day I don't even understand that shame because trans people or trans wannabes
Yes,
are accepted. They are the most accepted
that's right.
that they have ever been.
Totally. Ever,
Ever.
ever, ever.
So I
That's right.
don't
You're right.
understand.
Well, I'll tell you, it's called misogyny. And I do not think that these trans women are really trans women. What we have been discussing, they don't like women and they want to take women's
Yeah.
space, meaning sports
Yes.
and bathrooms and their
Mhm.
wieners hanging out everywhere. No trans woman, real, like Blair would never do that. Or any
Oh,
real
no.
trans woman would never do what these, that's why I'm telling you, they're not
Mm-mm.
trans. They're
No, they're
fetishists.
not.
Autogynephilia. They have this whole like
Mhm.
self love as being a woman. They get boobs and they, they're like sexualizing themselves. And
Yeah, oh my gosh, it
it's
is.
not good. It's not good. It's not good.
It's not.
No,
Like,
no.
they need another outlet. They need to be able to talk to
Right.
somebody about this.
They're the ones who started the whole transitioning of children. You know that.
Mhm.
That never happened before. That and
Yeah,
a lot of
you
these people
guys,
are sickos. Yeah.
you and other actual trans people,
Yeah.
you guys were like, just let me do it. That's all I want. That's what you guys were
Yeah.
saying. It's these, like, my generation and Gen Xers that they're like, well, everybody's got to do it. Everybody. And you never know what kid is a trans. It's like, no, there's no such thing as
Okay.
trans children. There's not.
None. No, there is not. No.
It's only
It's sick.
adults. Like,
How can a
you
kid know they're
might.
trans? How?
The,
I want. It's
oh
not possible. Also, I keep
I
telling
don't mean
people
to
the
laugh at
difference
this. I
because it's
don't mean to
crazy,
laugh at it. It
right?
is.
Yeah,
I've had
it's
6
crazy.
kids. I have birthed 6
Yes.
kids.
Wow.
I have raised them for as long as I have been allowed, and now currently still raising 3,
Yes.
and not one of them has came to me out of their own anything, their
Yep.
own thoughts or anything. Luckily,
Yeah.
they're in a good school. Their school does not teach any of that.
Thank
So
God.
thankful. Oh my
Oh my
gosh, so
God.
thankful.
Insanity.
And because of that, they have not came to me and been like, "Hey, I'm a boy," or "Hey, I'm a girl." And it's like,
That's right. That's right.
that's how I know. That's
Mhm.
how I know all of this trans kid stuff is just complete bullshit.
It's coming from adults, right?
It
A lot of the
is.
parents are making their kids trans because the kid is very
Yes.
boyish or girl. It's like your parents
Mhm.
could have said that about you or me, right? They could have
Mhm.
said that about me. My parents who are in their 80s are like, "What's happening? These people are insane." Like, you can't. You were not. They kept telling me you are not a trans. You are just a tomboy. I'm like, I know, mom. I know.
Yep.
It's not. We would have
Yep.
never done that to you. I'm like, God, thank God you would have never done that to me.
Oh my god, yeah.
I don't-
Oh my god.
Mm-mm.
I swear. If this was going on when I was young
Yeah,
and they were pushing this when I was young, I probably
yeah,
would be where you are right now.
you would, and you
But
might be
the
regretting
only
it.
difference, yeah,
Yeah,
I was going to say, the only difference is I would regret it.
that's right. That's the key. Regret. I have no regret after 32 years. That says something, right?
Yeah, that says
You,
everything.
you and I both know that these kids are going to regret it. You and I both know the
Mhm.
parents should be held responsible. It is up to a parent to guide your
It,
child in reality.
it is
What?
child abuse. It
Totally
is
agree with
straight
you.
up child abuse.
Straight up. Straight up. Straight up. But they're being told by doctors, if you don't do this, your child will off it. So there's a whole system in place, right? But going back to that,
Yeah.
I want to say that I really believe this new trans adults who are not really trans, but like fetishists, have some weird
Mhm.
fetish about transing kids, and it's all sick. You could get really deep
It
and
is
dark.
sick.
It's
It,
sick. I
it
think there's a it's not right. It's not right.
no.
We just We need to speak up and stand up for these kids. We need to teach people that they can
Mm-hmm.
be feminine, they can be masculine. The most important thing we need to teach people is you cannot change your sex. That is the most
Yes.
important part of this message. And they're telling kids that they can be boys and girls. If they're a girl, they can be a boy. And that's a lie.
Yeah, it is. And when a child is born, they are not assigned a sex. That
Thank you.
phrasing is so inaccurate. It is
That's
wrong
right. It's wrong.
because they are
It's
born what they are born.
Yeah, you're not assigned. They took that language from
No.
intersex people. In
Mm-hmm.
intersex or someone who's hermaphrodite or intersex, yeah, because they have
Yeah.
to assign them because they're not sure they have ambiguous genitalia. So they stole that language.
Yeah.
It's all coming apart. You watch. It's all
Mm-hmm.
coming apart. The
Yep.
reality, you can't keep building your house on a false foundation. It will crack and drop. And that's what's
Yep.
happening. It's starting to go like this, right? Because they built it
Mm-hmm.
all on false, and it's literally starting to teeter, and it's going to crash, and
Yep.
it's going to be horrifying. It's going to be horrifying. You
Yeah.
and I both know it, and so many kids are going to be left with no breasts at 15
Yeah.
and sexually immature and not being able to have babies, and
Mm-hmm.
I just can't wait for somebody to be held responsible. It just makes me so
I
angry,
can't wait
whole
for all
thing.
the doctors to be arrested that have done this.
They're sick weirdos.
They are. They really are.
They're sick
I was
weirdos.
going to say something else, but now I don't remember.
That's all right. We got to end here anyway. We've been for an
Yep.
hour, and people's attention span just like mine. Just kidding. I could
Yeah.
talk to you for hours. First I want to thank you, Megan. I know I had to
Yeah.
move you a couple times, but the fact that you still
Hey,
showed up
that's
is
fine.
really awesome to me, and your story is
I
really profound. You will help. You will help out some women out there who are struggling in that relationship with their husband doing this, and
I
they feel
really hope
lost.
so.
You will.
I really
I
hope so.
No doubt. There's no doubt. That's the great thing about this channel. People like you who are just regular people who have a story,
Mm-hmm.
and people feel alone sometimes. And then all of a sudden there's a
Yeah.
story that resonates with them. So you have great integrity, Megan. I think you're a really awesome human, and it means a lot to me that you're willing to be so honest and, really say things that a lot of people might feel embarrassed to talk about, but you were really open and vulnerable. And I want everybody to make sure you leave her beautiful messages. Anyway, people here, they're super cool. We have a cool community here. They're awesome. And they'll leave you beautiful messages. Um so with that, everybody, thank you so much for joining this really amazing conversation today. And remember, like, subscribe, send it to somebody you might know who's really struggling in the same space, and really just they might feel a little bit less alone with that. And I'll see you guys all Wednesday on the live. And thanks, Megan. You're such a beautiful human. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed spending this time with you. Have a great day.
Thank you, my friend.